All right. Do you have it on like follow? Or are you moving it? You're muted.
I'm moving it, just getting it just right.
All right. I think that's it. I think we're live. Let me see here. I was all set, and then
Mm.
we had to troubleshoot the stuff, and I moved stuff around.
I just got a notification that one of my favorite boomers is live.
Ooh. Ooh. So you have notifications turned on. A lot of people are like, "Oh, I didn't even know you were alive." It's like, well, did you hit the bell?
It's you. Of course I have notifications turned on. Have you not noticed how much I watch your streams more than anybody else?
I wish I could see like, hours watched. Like on Twitch, you
Yeah,
can
I'm
have
on it
like
a
the
lot.
points. Cool. Yeah,
Even if it's just on in the background, you know.
we're in there. We're live. We're going. And it's the Griff and
I
Go
don't.
show.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. I think I'm a very good-looking Griff.
Yeah, I was gonna say we could just like pass it off and not even mention it and see if anybody notices.
What about you just put a line through the Griff? That's it. Don't even put that it's me. Just put a little line through.
Yeah,
He's been replaced.
I was gonna change all the stuff below you. It still has Griff, and it's too late now. I'm not changing it. So yeah, no one's gonna know.
No one will know. I'll do my best Griff impression
Scotty's now Griff. Yeah.
for the whole 2 hours.
I just say, you got to say this phrase all the time in case you guys don't know.
Okay, I'll make sure I throw it in a few times.
Yeah, we've got lots to talk about. Joyous Journeys is back. The WoW token got launched out of nowhere. Phase 3's announcement was the other day. Midsummer Fest is coming up, which I think is the last thing that people need for their mount. And we might be able to squeeze in some buffs if Blizzard was sleeping and didn't remove them from being able to be used in raid. So that'd be kind of cool. And then, like, what else are we going to see in the next month? What else does Blizzard have up their sleeve that they're just going to drop on us and be like, oh, guys, here, yeah, this is in. Random Dungeon Finder, we know you guys have been asking for it. We changed our minds. Here you guys go. But we're going to start off with a tier list. No.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Random Dungeon Finder drops before Phase 3.
Mm.
I really wouldn't. You know, just to I don't know, try and limit the damage they've done by putting the WoW token in. But the thing is, they knew exactly what was going to happen because it's the second time round. There was this exact same outrage from YouTubers using it for clickbait or trying to act overly bothered by it when we expected it. It was going to come at some point. It was just a matter of when.
Mm-hmm.
So like I've not even got an issue with it. Whatever. But
I think you're the only one that's
everyone,
like that.
yeah, I
Everybody
know,
else is like,
yeah.
oh, this is the end of WoW. Everyone's going to go to private servers.
Oh yeah, and what can you do on private servers? You can spend real money for XP boosts, for bags, unlimited bags, for you can buy characters on private servers. You could go to a private server where that's even heavily, heavier monetization than what this has got.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you can go and buy gold anyway, you might as well buy it from Blizzard and they make some money from it, and then hopefully they can get a bigger dev team and they can do a better job. But let's face it, the WoW token's been in retail for years and years and years, and it just eventually just becomes a part of the game. At the moment, I don't know. I think people are being very naive to have thought that it was never going to be in because I knew it was coming. I didn't expect it to come yet. I thought it would have been more towards the end of Wrath. But yeah, whatever. I've bought one.
I I didn't spend money. Like I spent my gold to buy the token for the game time. I bought one earlier. I was watching the price and it was like going down, 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 and then as soon as it started to go back up, I was like, buy. So I got like
Yeah,
30
I've done the
days
same.
worth. Yeah.
Yeah, I bought it on the NA account. What I raid with you on, just because it was like, well, another month. I ain't got to worry about it.
I heard it's like almost twice as expensive on EU. Like I bought mine for 72.50, something like that. Gold
Wow, yeah, that's cheap. Yeah, I mean, it was like 16K earlier
on EU.
on EU. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. But
Or
like
what? 14K, 14K, 16. I don't know.
14.
It was a lot more. It was either 14 or 16K. I mean, I could log on and tell you.
Yeah, it's weird how different it is.
Yeah. Yeah. What are your thoughts on it anyway? I assume we're going to get to a bit of a WoW token discussion anyway. So,
I mean, we can throw it all in here at the start because I had a poll asking people about it too. I think I put it up
what
yesterday.
was his name?
His
Well, I
name.
mean, I'm going to be busting out all the dad jokes tonight. Let's go.
his, his name was I don't know. I got nothing.
You couldn't think of a Polish name quick enough, could you?
No, no.
His name was Lewandowski.
Uh, what do I think of it? Like I'm kind of like it doesn't really bother me either way. Like I canceled my subscription immediately because I was like I never have to pay for my WoW account ever again. Like especially if it stays around 7,500. I know this is like the peak time to buy probably, and then it's just going to keep going up and get more expensive over the next couple months. But I mean, it's pretty cheap. Like I'll just keep doing GDKPs, keep getting gold, and I'll just never have to buy a subscription. So now I play for free.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah, exactly, and that's what I said. Like, you said it's 7,500 gold. The average pot just from your GDKP runs you do every week is 9 to 10k, like
yeah,
at minimum. So you do one GDKP a month, and that pays for your subscription. Like,
mm-hmm.
that's why it's not going to stay like that.
Yeah,
There's too much gold in the economy already that this is just it's all fresh. Them tokens will be worth 25k, I would imagine, in the next 6 to 8 weeks.
mm-hmm.
They flew up on retail. I mean, look how much they are on retail. But that's the thing. You've got everything else has got to shift first. So it's not just, oh, we've got more gold. We've got like hundreds of thousands of gold each. The token should be 50k. It's going to take the economy to shift, as in flasks to go up, food to go up, bombs to go up. Because all of these things where people normally don't might not buy as many as they would because of how much gold they've got. Now it's like, oh, I'll just buy a token and that's going to do my raid consumables for a month.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be people doing that. So the whole everything on the auction house is going to be more expensive without a doubt. And it's the same with like low level blues. When you think about it, they're ridiculously hard to sell. A, because of heirlooms, and B, because what if you're new to the game or you're new to the server, you've been playing on another server, maybe you've rolled EU and you're an NA player, you haven't got gold to spend on low level blues. But now that you can buy a token and you're like, oh, I get 20k for this token, you don't mind spending 3 or 4k on gear on the way up as well. So it's going to have a knock on effect where everything just is going to be, seem ridiculously bloated. But then you just get used to it.
Yeah, I was thinking a lot today about like Shadowborn. How expensive are those going to be? Because Valeniers were stupid expensive in GDKPs to begin with, and now people can actually swipe their credit card and buy Shadowborn. It's like, are we going to see like, and then like, how much is that going to translate from like the WoW token? Like, it's going to be thousands of dollars, I bet.
Yeah, well, I mean, 7. The thing is, let's say 8k. 8k. Is it $20?
Yeah, free NA, yeah.
I mean, that's not a lot of gold for $20, is it?
No.
When that's in terms of Valenier, you're paying what, 4.2k per frag, is it, or 4.4?
4.4, yeah. So 136k total.
Yeah. So getting 106k when you're only getting 8k per $20, like that's a lot of gold.
I'd have to buy 17 of them times 20, so $340 I spent for my Valenier.
It's not actually that bad. I take it back.
Hey, yeah, I'll take that.
Let's all buy Valenier.
But I think Shadowborn's going to be more expensive than that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot more involved as well. It's it's here and it's not going to go anywhere. So people either just get used to it or do what everybody in my comments has been saying, and they're going to make a stand and they're going to quit today and they're not playing again until it's removed. And all right, see ya.
Blizzard's already banked. I wonder how many millions of dollars they've already gotten.
Oh, they would have. Yeah. I can only tell just by how quick the tokens actually sell on the auction house. Yeah, it literally if you buy one to then sell on the auction house, it's gone within minutes.
Yeah.
So yeah, they'll be making a few quid.
Mhm. Yeah, so the poll I had, I just asked simple, is the WoW token good for Wrath Classic? And 17% said yeah, like I love it. 33% said no, I hate it. And then a lot of people are on the fence, kind of like where I'm at. It's like 50% ish, like 49%. They're like, we'll see how it plays out. I'm like, if it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad.
The thing is, has it changed anything for you?
Uh,
That's how I look at it. Have you all of a sudden had any? It's changed nothing for me.
I want to hate it because everybody's telling me I should hate it, except for you. You're like, oh, it's not that bad. Like it's good. But yeah, everywhere else that I look, everyone's like, you need to hate this. You need to quit. Like this is terrible for the game. This is the end of Wrath. This is the end of Classic WoW. But I mean,
Yeah, but everything's the end of Classic.
mhm.
Like it don't matter what Blizzard do. Everything is the end of Classic. The hardcore servers being official now, that's the end of Classic. Like the fact that they buffed rep paladins and started making changes to classes, that was the end of Classic.
Mhm.
No random dungeon finder. Everyone's just going to play private servers. Classic's doomed to fail. It doesn't matter. Like whatever they do, it's the end of Classic.
Yeah.
So really, who gives a shit? Like, do you play the game and enjoy it? If you do, just play it. Like they could add like transmog and items and stuff like that to the shop. That people can pay for as long as it's not as in not raid gear. I'm just talking purely cosmetic. They can add as much as they want to the shop because they can add all the mounts, all the retail mounts, get them banged on the classic store. I don't care. If it's not going to affect me when I go in and raid, you can't even mount up in 90% of these places. So, I don't even need to look at them. It's like if people are willing to spend money on things that don't really have that much of an effect on me, I don't care. Blizzard can make as much money as they want, and it's the same with gold. Like people are like, oh yeah, but it's going to change the economy, and it's gonna punish people and force people to have to buy gold and all that. It really doesn't. As in, it's so easy to make gold if you want to make gold. If you're lazy, you're going to buy it online on G2G anyway. So at least now you ain't even got to go on another website. You can just buy it in game and it's in your mailbox. Like it changes nothing.
Yeah. I'm only seeing positives for myself, but I am kind of nervous how like talk and ICC GDKPs are going to be for me, like gold wise. It's felt bad right now in phase 2 having people come in with loads of gold, like almost bragging like, yeah, like I just bought all this gold last night, I'm ready to spend it. And then they come in and then they buy the first flare, and it's like it doesn't matter what anybody else bids, they just upbid it like they've got it because they spent money. And then now, like, is that going to be worse in the next couple phases? Is it going to be harder for me to get gear in the GDKPs even though I've got gold? Unless I
I don't think
buy,
it's going to change.
yeah.
I don't think it's going to change purely because those people, there's already the people buying the gold anyway. And you're either going to buy it or you're not. The fact that you can now legally buy it through Blizzard, it don't really make that much difference because all the gold websites are just going to make sure that they're more economically viable to shop with than the Blizzard store. So people are still going to be buying ridiculous amounts of gold from dodgy websites, but probably just less. Your average person that was shit scared to buy gold before will now be able to access gold. But like even if you was getting 20k, you're gonna have to spend some serious money to even compete with the size of the balances that people have got now. People who are sat on multiple gold caps or go in and spend 200k in a GDKP and don't even think about it. If people want to get that sort of gold, they will get it. It doesn't matter where it comes from. This is not me defending the WoW token. Again, for me, I don't care. It doesn't impact me whether it's there or not. But obviously, everyone just likes to jump on their high horse and act like their opinion even matters. When mine don't matter. It doesn't matter if I was to make a video today saying I'm quitting WoW because the WoW token's here. Blizzard might waive. That'd be about it. They don't care because they're going to make ridiculous amounts of money from it. So, people just need to just get on with it. Don't let it affect them and just enjoy the game.
I'm trying to think like what would my price be? Like how much gold would I need to get for my $20? And it's not a low number. I'm thinking like 100K, and then I might spend the $20. Like I can't picture people buying it for as cheap as it is right now.
Yeah, no, I mean me, like, let's say it's 8K. Let's say you're getting 8K for $20. If I rolled on a different server, where I've got nothing on there, all right, I'll have my heirlooms that I can mail across server and all that. But as soon as I hit level 70, I'd spend $20 just to get my epic flying. I'm not saying I would buy it on my Paladin or anything like that, where I'm already established. But if I was to go and play with Blazing Bob and that, for example, I'm gonna have nothing on that server. Just being able to get epic flying at 70, that'd be enough.
Oh, they're saying something's wrong with your mic. I don't hear it. Oh, maybe you're too loud. Let me turn you down. Like noise.
What? His microphone. Mic is buzzing. Is it?
I don't know. Somebody said something about no. Like I hear you fine. It could just I might have had you up too high. You might have gotten too emotional, too passionate.
I was getting really excited. Well, is it all right now? Before we.
Yeah. Hopefully it's just.
I'll try and whisper. It's ASMR.
Oh yeah.
No, they're saying it's still doing it.
Like nope, it's not better, or no, you're broken.
I'm broken. It's all right for you, isn't it? We already had loads of issues before we even went live, and now
I hear you fine. Yeah. His mic is buzzing.
Want me to disconnect and reconnect, see if that does anything?
Sure. Grif has changed. Yeah.
Testing 1 2.
Buzz.
Buzz 1 2 1 2.
That sounds fine to me. It's not his mic if it goes hearing it fine. Yeah. Better? Okay.
That was weird.
There we go. That's all we had to do.
I think what they really wanted was me to just leave.
Yeah. This guy likes the WoW token. Fuck him off.
Yeah. Get rid of this WoW token enjoyer.
Yeah, get Grif back. Yeah. Oh, I should have asked Grif earlier if he likes it or not. Like the WoW token, like what his thoughts were. Damn. I did have one other poll, and it was about BlizzCon. I asked, and I was kind of shocked at these numbers, but I guess it makes sense. I asked, have you ever gone to BlizzCon? 84% said never. 13% said only virtually. 1% in person one time, and 2% in person more than once. I've never been.
No, me neither. It's not really, it's not my scene. Like TwitchCon, BlizzCon, all of that, like, yeah, that's not me.
I've already bought my plane tickets and reserved my hotel room for this year, though. I'm going. Whether I get a ticket to get inside the actual convention or not, I'm going. I'm going to be there.
Oh, hey, I hope you enjoy yourself.
Yeah. I wish I could meet some Europeans, but you guys don't care about it, so.
I literally would just rather go to, like, I don't know, Liverpool for a night out and just get absolutely spannered than go to see loads of people cosplaying,
I want to see that. I think that'd be cool. I like transmogs in game, IRL transmogs. I'm for it. Let's see it. Let's see what people got.
Oh no, I'll never say never. One day I may go to one of them, but yeah, it's more difficult for me probably than you. I've got 2 kids and a wife.
Mm-hmm.
Not as easy for me to sneak away.
And a lot longer of a travel.
Yes, and that as well.
All right, let me see what we got else here on the agenda for this evening. Knocked through that. I mean, we've got to have the section of, what have we been up to in WoW recently. I've got a couple things in the show notes, but what have you been up to? I know you're raiding on at least 4 tunes. Are you doing anything like what are you doing with your raids and like what are you doing outside of raid, if anything?
So yeah, what we've been doing. So yeah, raiding a lot. I've recently changed my main ult. So every week, obviously, I was raiding on my Holy Paladin. Like we do splits, so we do a full clear on Wednesday, full clear on Thursday. So I was raiding on my Feral Druid one night and my Holy Paladin another night. But 3 resets ago, I decided to ditch the Feral Druid just because it's been a long time of me being a main feral, going all the way back to 2004, and every single private server I've ever played on always been feral. So it just got to the point where the Blizzard's version of Wrath of the Lich King Classic, it's just not the same for feral, especially with all the changes with Omen and all that. I know a lot of ferals, including Grif, like the changes. I personally don't. Um, So I went Hunter, and it's taken me 3 whole resets to get full BIS. 5.4k gear score, just shy.
Jesus. That's like
I
that's a lot more than my main. Like I'm at 51
it's
something.
it's more than my main that's got Valinir.
Yeah. Yes.
But yeah, so I say I'm full BIS. I need the shoulders from Flame Leviathan 10 man.
Oh. Well, yeah, One
That's it.
Piece. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm using tier shoulders in place of that at the moment. But yeah, full BIS except for that one. And I love it. Yeah, obviously still it's been nice because Hunter is probably the one class that I've played the least. As in, the last time I raided on a Hunter was Warlords of Draenor, as a marksman hunter with lone wolf, no pet, all of that. Like that was, yeah, the last time I raided as a hunter. So this has been when I say a challenge, it's been a nice learning curve, learning like trap weaving properly and like the nuances of each boss and stuff from a hunter perspective. Yeah, I mean, in 3 resets, I think my pass across all of it average is like 95. So that's obviously in the first couple of weeks would have been gearing up. So now I'm looking at actually trying to pass properly, which is always a bit difficult in splits, obviously, because we've got half alts and half mains. So
Hmm.
it's not like we've got a full pumper group. But yeah, so we've been raiding on the hunter. Went and done a clear on the hunter tonight.
I saw that raid looked. I was kind of creeping while I was at work. I was like, that's why he hasn't responded to me. He's in raid right now. I'll give him a little bit of space. I won't flood his DMs. Like, yo, where you at? Are you coming on tonight? But you guys had an over 3 hour clear today too, just kind of like our NA raid last night.
Yeah, well, we was 24 man in uh 5, 6 bosses. Yeah, I
Mm.
think we 24 man the first 6 bosses because Hoyt was going to be late. We had a few mishaps on Iron Council.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I was like, ooh, like 3 or 4 wipes. Yeah.
I think it might have even been 5. I don't
Mm.
know. Yeah, it was a bit rough. I'd need to pull the logs up. But yeah, Iron Council was a bit rough. Obviously, one shot Algalon. One shot all the hard bosses, but then, yeah, some fuckery on Iron Council. Yogg Zero, I think it was 2 wipes. But yeah, it was just that. It just weren't mega clean.
Yeah, yeah.
But we was 3 healing with none of the healers had Valinir. I'm not saying that makes the difference, but still 3 healing without my Paladin there, without TJ, who's our Resto Shaman with Valinir. It does make a bit of a difference. And then tomorrow's on the Holy Paladin. I've been raiding on that, obviously, every week still. I've actually got an upgrade for the first time in 9 resets, I think it was. Got the boots from Yogg last week. So I'm one. I need one item on the Hunter for full BIS, one item on the Holy Paladin for full BIS, which I'll get next anyway. It's just the leather haste belt from Algalon.
Oh yeah.
And then raiding with you, obviously, every week as well. I'm the priest,
Are you
which
are you planning on leveling anything up with Joyous Journeys? Are you gonna start on a new server anywhere or make another
I've
alt on like?
tried.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I want a warlock, and I was toying with the idea of actually doing it on Mankrik,
Yeah,
like in
we
your
need
guild.
one actually. We
Yeah, I heard one went missing last night
yeah.
somewhere. Well, yeah, I went looking for him, but I couldn't find him. So no, I'm toying with the idea of doing it on NA. But I'll be honest with you, I just can't bring myself to level anything. Obviously, on the NA servers I've got, my 80 priest and paladin, which obviously raiding on both of those. The paladin not much, but whatever. And I've got my paladin, druid, hunter, another paladin, rogue. Is that it? Yeah, and those on EU. So I've got like, I don't know, seven level 80s or something like that. I just can't be bothered to level anything else. But I was trying because Joyous Journeys was up. I was like jumping between about 5 or 6 different characters yesterday. And I'll be honest with you, in the end, I turned WoW off and put Star Wars: The Old Republic on, and started leveling a new consular on there instead.
There you go.
So yeah, I'll be honest with you. Until Top comes out, I'm trying to play some other things. Like I got the new Quest Pro VR headset, which I've been playing about with a lot. I got a sick drone that got delivered yesterday, so I've been flying that around. Or not yesterday, the day before. Yeah, just trying to chill a bit. I don't want to just like out. I'm doing the raids, raiding on Tuesday with you guys, raiding on Wednesday and Thursday with EU, and outside of that, there's nothing to do anyway. Unless you're going to level a character, like I've got nothing to do.
See, I've been, I was at that point, and then I don't know what came across me. I started to do achievements. Something I never thought that I was gonna do in Wrath was like actually log in and have a goal to finish off an achievement. So I've been getting like reps exalted. I don't know why that has like drawn me in, but I just got exalted with Cenarian Circle, Orgrimmar, Undercity in the past week, and I only have Silvermoon left to get exalted with for the ambassador title, which I will never put
nice.
on. Yeah, it's just gonna be one of those titles I never.
The good thing
display.
is you can go and buy all the cloth from the auction house with the money that you get from your WoW token. So that's good, isn't it? You can get achievements done thanks to the WoW token.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you, Blizz.
You can get if you want a reputation, go to the auction house, buy a token. Yeah.
Yeah, it's brilliant. What an amazing system.
Dude, the price of Frostweave, I don't know if it was just today or what. It was 30, like I put a couple stacks up for 35 gold a stack. And it was like, 12, 10 a stack like 2-3 weeks ago. I don't know if I was just like behind the ball on that one, or if that was just because of this token and people were buying stuff like crazy off the auction house. They're like, oh, I just got 10k gold. Buy. Like, I don't know what like is going on, but every day that I log onto the auction house, like something is just going for a ridiculous like amount. And yeah, this morning, it was Frostweave.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you about that. Yeah, as I say, I'm not playing as much as I was. And the thing is, it's still like a good 4 resets after this one till Tuck. Like, I don't want to. I'm already getting like my patience with Ulduar is already extremely thin. I'm doing it well, as we've discussed. 3 full clears. That's not even including 10 mans. Yeah, every single week. I'm starting to get to the point now where my mood goes from happy when I walk in to one wipe on a boss, and I'm like, this is the worst night of my life.
Yeah.
I turn into a proper drama queen.
Dude,
so that's why I'm trying to play other things. I bought the new Star Wars game, as in Jedi Survivor, which I'm playing on the PS5. I'm looking forward to Diablo. I think I'm going to stream a lot of that. Might even make the odd video, possibly if I really get into it. But
yeah. Last night somebody asked me before the raid. They were like, "How do you think the raid's going to go?" I was like, "We'll see at XT." We got to XT and
we wiped.
We wiped like a minute into the fight, and they were still in the chat. And I was like, "Oh yeah, so go ahead and ask me again how raid's going to be." I was like, "Yep."
It wasn't bad after that though, was it? I can't remember. I'm normally half asleep for the NA raid, obviously.
There was some scuff. There were some things that rubbed me the wrong way. It was mostly XT, but like Memron is still that it gets me when people die on Memron. I'm just like fuming. But I mean, it happens. But yeah, I've got, since you haven't been coming to the GDKPs because you had so much fun the first time you came, let me update you. Yeah, let me update you really quick. I've got 18 out of my 30 fragments for my Valinir.
Ooh.
I'm getting close.
Nice.
I should get it before Phase 3 launches.
And then replace it on the first night.
Yeah, no. Well, now that I'll have that, I won't have to buy a weapon in Phase 3 because it's like a super small DPS upgrade from that to the phase 3 weapon.
You're not gonna switch main when
I've,
you get Valor.
I've thought about it, but like it's weird the way my gear is. Like the main has a bunch of pieces that the alt and the GDKP doesn't have. Like the GDKP tune has like good trinkets. It's got flare. It's got scale. It's gonna have Valinir. It's got the hit neck. But that's like the only 4 big pieces that it's gonna have. The main Boomy has like 5 2 pieces, and I'm up for 2 more. So
I assume it's the main that you're doing these achievements on now.
yeah. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. I don't know. I'll probably keep them where they're at, but I won't have to buy. Like maybe I could buy an offhand. That's all I have to buy, I think, on the GDKP Boomy. Just buy a nice offhand, or just go with a 10-man talk offhand with that guy.
Oh, you can't even get Cosmos, can you? Because they
Mm.
don't do Algalon.
Yeah, yeah.
GDKP.
We don't do Mem hard mode or Algalon, yeah. So if we did Algalon, I wouldn't have the gold now at this point to unless I spent 200-300. Yeah, I could just.
Yeah, let's go.
Never mind. Wait a second. Cosmos, first one. I'm gonna buy it. But
Easy.
I'm kind of like you. Like I haven't got loot on my main since January, February, March, April 18th. However many weeks that's been, 6-7 weeks. The last piece that I got on Classic Go was the staff of Endless Winter. And since then, like I got like the bracers that have hit on them that I'll probably never use. And I got like one other piece, but it's like one of those normal mode pieces that I'll probably never use, but I put on my loot list. So yeah, like I'm itching for a new piece of loot on that guy.
On the priest, I need but flare. That's literally the single biggest upgrade.
Are you third in line for it? Where are you at? Because
I think like joint third. So I think it's you, then
me and
one of the
Magic.
mages.
Yeah, we're tied. Yeah.
And then I'm tied with someone after that. So
Okay.
I mean, whatever. Come targets, still going to be good, obviously, but I'm not really that bothered about the gear on the priest. It's fine.
Yeah.
It was nice to get something on the paladin, though. I got to admit, because raiding every. That's the only thing. Like the hunter has been great. Getting all this gear so fast, being absolutely stacked. And now it's like, well, I'm still going to raid every week, but there's nothing to look forward to. Literally nothing. And that's how it's been with the paladin for ages. Because I didn't even expect to get the boots. It was only because there were so many alts, and I was one of the only mains in this particular split. That they went to me sort of by default, but I'd never take them over, because our loot system's very different, obviously, to the NA loot system. We care more about the loot going in the right places, if you know what I mean, rather than taking it in turns. So, I wouldn't take the boots from all the casters. They would get them all first. So I never expected to see him. It was just pure luck that I ended up in that group.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's what do I have? Oh, now it's time for my questions for you that I had. I got a bunch of them. And they're they're grilling questions that you better have the right answer for, or we're ending the Discord call.
Okay.
We're at the point where it's since it's supposed to be a Druid podcast, but Grif is gone, so I had to get a non-feral, non-Druid main in here.
Well, but I healed Ulduar last week on my Druid as resto.
Mm-hmm.
So,
did you heal it all on the PTR? Like, did you feral at all on the PTR, or like Druid at all?
No, but I've cleared top 10 and 25 hundreds and hundreds of times as a Druid in all specs.
The question related to Druids, since you're the raid leader of Wipe Inc. and you've done the PTR both times, you've raid led like 25 and 10 mans on there like constantly. Do Druids have a place in talk, and like are Feral, Resto, and Boomy's raid spot secure? Or would you rather take another class? Would you rather have another DK instead of a Feral?
I would rather take as many Druids as I physically had at my disposal.
So you're still on that take. I like that take.
Yes.
Because you had this a couple weeks ago before the PTR.
I would take one resto, ideally one resto, two ferals, three boomies.
3 boomies.
Yep, minimum. That's that. It gives you a lot more room for error. You put
Mm-hmm.
on top of that the fact that you're going to have a demo and 2 afflictions, so you got 3 soul stones. Got 3 soul stones, 6 combat reses. You know, you're going to have an Ellie enhancement and probably resto as well. So you got 3 people that can ank.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's when you cannot wipe. You know, when the what stands between you getting a 272 cloak is that one wipe. You want to prevent it in every way possible. And early on, like the first couple of resets where people are still, maybe they didn't do the PTR, so they're still getting used to it. Just having that buffer, I I think is far more important than saying, well, what would we do? So let's drop a boomy. Let's say we just have one boomy. Let's drop 2 boomies. We'd take what, an extra couple of affliction locks, maybe an extra affliction lock, an extra hunter. They're going to do maybe in under perfect scenario, you know, in the perfect situation, an extra K damage each. Damage doesn't matter. Like no,
Mm-hmm.
there's not a single boss in there where it's a race. Not even a noob at the end is not a DPS race. You know, it's better to have that little bit less damage, but a lot more room for error. And trust me, we need it. We need that room for error.
Did you see a lot of innervates being asked for? I don't remember because I was usually at work when I was on the PTR like raiding.
Not really.
So yeah, like we can't say, hey guys, we have combat res and innervate as like a selling point.
There's not that much. There's not that much sort of stress on healers in any of those fights. Not even a noob. When you know what you're doing, there's no stress on that fight from a healing perspective. No, it's really not to do with the innovate. It purely is if someone cocks up and don't get to the tank when they got paralytic poison, or when you're doing faction champs and you know the warrior gets away from whoever's meant to be kiting it and runs over and one shots one of your healers, you can get them up. They might then get instant fucked again. You can get them back up again. You know, I think it's the combat res in TOC is very very valuable. That
Mm-hmm.
I would, as I say, I'd put it over anything else, and especially when where the most issues are going to arise for a lot of guilds is going to be twins, faction champs, obviously a noob 100%, but like twins, faction champs. On faction champs, when you've got boomies that can root, cyclone, hibernate, as you said, like
Typhoon.
innovate, combat res,
Yeah.
typhoon, they've got to go in bear and stun. They've got so much control that they're arguably probably one of the strongest DPS to take to faction champs anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The last 3 are going to be the questionable bosses. The first 2 are pretty easy unless somebody gets hit by that charge. It's did you end up testing if you can just like run straight away from the
Yeah,
charge? You can, right? Yeah.
you can run into the boss and it
Mm-hmm.
won't. Yeah, hang on, need to cough.
Okay. uh,
Yeah,
what do you think about since it's supposed to be a feral episode? It's supposed to be Grif's week. I had to throw in at least one feral
I'll be
question.
Grif.
Yeah. Do ferals like can a feral main tank Trial of the Grand Crusader?
Yeah,
So that
I mean,
like
do you want me to? You don't want me to go into any more detail? When you say
you don't
main
have to
tank, again,
main
it
tank.
depends.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. There's not a single boss in there that isn't, no more unfriendly to bear tanks than any other boss.
So
We've had our bear Majay. Shout out to Majay. You know, we've had him tanking the ads on a noob, and we've had him
mhm.
tanking the boss. Yeah, I mean, tanking any of the beasts, like whatever, that just doesn't matter. Anyone can tank those. Jaraxxus again doesn't matter. Anyone can tank them. Like obviously, a bear threat is arguably where they fall down a little bit, but as long as you've got MDs, tricks going into them where needs be, yeah, I wouldn't take, I wouldn't choose to take a feral tank over a prop paladin. Obviously not, because again, if we're talking about that room for error where things can go wrong, having a paladin's ardent defender is priceless.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
we're talking combat reses as like we're going to run 3 prop paladins. I'm hoping we're at least going to be running 2, but for a noob, we're probably going to run 3. And again, it's just for that something goes wrong, a healer cocks up and don't throw a heal out, they've got an extra life. You then got your 6 druids for combat reses. You got soul stones up on your healers. You know, it's all about just, well, for the first week, if you're seriously pushing for a tribute to insanity in the first week, I think it's all about just planning if something goes wrong, how you're going to recover from it. And you've seen that yourself. You've done PTR with me, and it only takes one person to fuck the kiting up on a noob, and it can very quickly turn into a wipe.
Yeah.
So planning for those situations on like how you're gonna recover from that is key. I mean, that's got nothing to do with being a bear tank. No, don't take bear tanks. They're shit.
Where do you place the bear tank? Do you have like Pally, DK, bear, then warrior, or?
Um, I'd go Pally then DK 100%. Again, and it's more the the sheer self healing that DKs can do. Just makes up for the extra damage they take in comparison to a prop paladin in a vast majority of cases. And then I between warrior and druid, I would still take a warrior over a druid. Druid would be last on my list, and that's just because of the lack of the tanking toolkit.
Mhm.
A prop warrior has still got even though, again, I'd take a paladin first. A prop warrior has got an extremely strong tanking toolkit, for all different scenarios, and there's nothing wrong with F threat and all of that. I'd probably put warrior and DK in the same bracket. To be fair, I'd want a prop paladin main tank, but then druid would be the least desirable.
All right, poor druids. What about resto? Is that like healer wise? Like, is that the first healer that you would ask to go to their DPS spec, whether it's feral or boomy? Or would you have like
Depends
a
on the fight.
yeah? And like, do you have what's your healer comp looking like? What do you have for healers in Wiping?
Well, we again we do split, so obviously they are it. Well, it doesn't change, but some of us use alt healers as well. But our primary healing team is 2 holy paladins, 1 disc priest, 1 resto shaman, and 2 resto druids.
Hmm.
So we can choose between any of those for what we want. But yeah, I mean, it would be the resto druids that go booming because we've got two holy paladins, a disc priest, and a resto shaman would be my preference personally. If we was to talk about the entirety of TOC, on a fight by fight basis, they've all got their strengths and weaknesses. But
All right. Well, here's a question. Since you are a loot council guild, maybe you haven't figured this out yet, but who's getting your first 272 cloak?
yeah, well, we've not even discussed it.
I figured I figured it would be like a melee because I think melee has a couple specs where it's BIS through ICC.
Yeah, the armor pen cape. So yeah, I mean the closest cape to it is going to be Slayers from Loot Ship. I believe it's from off the top of my head, which obviously would be 277 over 272. But yeah, it's not got armor pen on. I think it's crit and haste. So yeah, it probably would be sort of ferals, combat rogues. They're the sort of what it would be going on first. But ultimately, it's a cape.
Mm-hmm.
If you was to sit and sim it for every class, how big of an upgrade how much DPS it's actually going to give you. It's not like it's a weapon, or a trinket. It's a cape. It's still going to be a minor amount compared to like say if it was a trinket or a weapon or something. But it probably would go to like the combat rogues, feral druids first.
Airness. My vote's
Air,
Airness.
Airness and Night Rise. So Night Rise is our combat rogue, and yeah, he's like a straight 99 passing combat rogue. So
Okay. All right. I wish you had an answer. I wanted like a name. This guy's getting it first. But that's okay. That's fine.
well, I'm taking it.
Yeah,
First,
that's what I wanted you to say. I love my hunter, and
I've got mine. Once, sorry. Well, by first, I thought it was obvious that I'm getting it. But so when you said first, I thought you meant who's going to be first after me.
yeah, who's the
well,
first,
I need
second?
2. I need one on the Paladin and the Hunter, and then after that, it can go to like the combat rogues, the ferals, and all that. So
Is it not BIS for Holy Pally too?
it'll be best for every single class and spec.
All right.
But again, as a Holy Paladin, who really cares? You know what I mean?
Yep. Some of these questions are kind of like, just right towards like your EU guild, and this is another one. Is Wipe Ink planning on going back to Ulduar after Phase 3 launches? And are you gonna like fully clear it then? Have you thought about this at all? Or are you only going back for like certain bosses like Vezek, Yogg, Algalon?
We have the majority of people in full BIS or close to. A lot of people just needing one item or two items. Obviously, that's the joy of splits. You do gear up a bit quicker, but we've been extremely unlucky with flares. So we've got like 70-80% of our casters all need flare still. But we've got two Valaniers. So yeah, I've got Valanier, TJ's got Valanier. We've got somebody on 20 frags and someone else on 27, I think, coming around that. So we're definitely going to get like a full healing team of Valaniers before Tok comes out. We're going to give the next one to a Disc Priest. So purely just because he is a healer, he might play Holy, in ICC a bit. So whatever, it doesn't really matter where it sort of goes after all the main healers have got it. I don't really want to go back,
Yeah.
if I'm completely honest. As in, we won't. We should do splits still. Whether we do carry on doing splits in there, I don't know. I it's not something that's been decided. I mean,
Hmm.
the way it's going at the moment, we probably will just do 2 nights still, Wednesday and Thursday, full top clear Wednesday, full Ulduar clear straight after, and then same again on Thursday. Because the more gear you get from top, start getting your tier 9, like Ulduar's just going to get quicker and quicker and easier. But at the same time, I don't want people burning out of it because
Yeah.
we're going to have been doing it for a long time. Well, if we're at the point where all the main healers have got Valanier and all we're going back for is like flares from Vezax, without there being a skip put in, I probably can't see us going not all the way through phase 3. Maybe for the first few resets or something, but I think it will come down to the guild deciding, not me. It's up to everyone. If everyone's still happy to carry on going through once a week, we'll still go through. But me personally, I'd rather use phase 3 as a bit of a chill out phase. Just go in, get talk done, and then play Star Wars. Do whatever you want to do. Just have some time back. Because ICC, when that comes out, that's a lot of bosses. That's a lot of progress. That's a lot of commitment. One of the most fun raids, that's ever been released. So, do we really want to force people to the point of possibly quitting or taking a break? Before the important tier, I'd probably say no.
All right. Moving right along. I'm done with asking about Wipe Ink, I think. But now it's time for the speculation, which you're amazing at doing. So I know, I figure your response to this is going to be Diablo. Is there any other reason that you can think of that there's such a long gap in the PvP seasons? Like, why would they have this season of PvP end on the 29th and then the next season start on June 20th?
Well, the PV, so the seasons have got to go with the phases, haven't they?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like this, this season technically should be quite a short one. It starts making things really weird, don't it? If you can then start getting like the previous PvP gear for Honor, but the next phase of content where there's more gear available ain't came out yet, or they release the PvP seasons earlier than TOC, so you can now start getting higher item level from PvP to go into TOC with when it launches. It would cause a lot of issues. So they can't really release the following raid tier without the PvP season.
I mean,
So they'd have delayed one, like they'd have delayed the launch of TOC because of Diablo, and then so it's a knock-on effect. So then the PvP season has been delayed because I don't know why they ended it.
yeah,
I don't know why they didn't just keep the PvP season running
yeah,
for an extra
yeah.
couple of weeks.
That's
I
that's what I'm
don't
thinking.
understand.
Yeah.
My guess would be that they planned for TOC to actually release earlier than it is, and then the Diablo team was like, "Are you fucking mental? There's no way you're releasing a raid tier when Diablo's launching." And then I would imagine it's internal communication breakdown, which will be why. I don't know. I'm only speculating, obviously,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I would imagine that the classic team planned how it was going to look, and then someone put their foot down and said, "No, it's going to look like this because I said so."
Should they switch it? Have you heard any blowback or seen anything from like PvPers? Do you have any in your EU guild? Because we don't really have any hardcore PvPers in our NA guild here, but I have.
Yeah, we've got a couple. Lilith mainly. I mean, I think he's multi-glad on like different characters and all sorts. Yeah, I mean he PvPs a lot. Um, but no, he's not complained about it anyway.
Okay. Yeah, because I was looking at like all the previous seasons, and there's like 7 to 9 days. It's usually like the Monday before the next phase releases, so it's like an 8 day like downtime
Off
between
season, yeah.
season. Yeah, and then this one's almost a full month. It's like 3.5 weeks or something. And I was like, what happened there? But
Like
yeah.
I say, I would guess that it's more internal reasons than anything else.
Hmm.
Because they even said, if you remember, when they released the first round of TOC, they had to pull it forward. So they had to do it sooner. They was like, sorry, we want to give you more notice, but we've got to test it this weekend. Um, so there's clearly been things going on in the background with it all being, shuffled around, because if they hadn't have tested it that week and it was further down the line, would then the PvP season ran for longer up until the point TOC started getting tested? Like, you don't know. Again, it's speculation, but yeah, it's going to all revolve around Diablo without a doubt. And they know that a lot of classic players, even if they're not like me, I'm not a hardcore Diablo player, but it's a new game. I'm going to play it for a couple of weeks. Uh, Maybe more. I might really, really get into it. I was quite hardcore into Diablo 3 when it first came out. I played that for months, where I wasn't playing WoW at all. So who knows? But yeah, There's no way that they've made a conscious decision and said, right, it's the right thing to do to have nearly a month with no PvP season.
Yeah, yeah, that seemed kind of weird. And to like piggyback on that, when's the new VOA boss gonna come out? Because that was left out of their announcements of the phase 3 like release schedule that they had. And last phase for when Ulduar came out, it was delayed a week that we could do the second boss in VOA. So do you think it's gonna stay the same, or are we gonna have like a week of downtime after phase 3 launches? So like June 27th, we'll have the third boss in VOA. I don't know their names. Their names don't matter.
Toravon and Corallon are the ones we're waiting for, aren't they? So is it Corallon that's the next one? But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, I correct me if I'm wrong, because I've got to admit it was like the least of my concerns. Obviously what we was bothered about was TOC. It wasn't even on the PTR, was it?
I don't.
The VOA
The
boss.
new, yeah, they. If it was, I don't think anybody even checked. They probably didn't even look.
So as far as I'm aware, I don't think it's been tested. We went and done Anixia, so we went and 5-man, 10-man Anixia, just because why not? Um, yeah, I don't know.
Is there a crazy
They've not
mechanic?
mentioned it in any notes or
Yeah, I haven't
anything.
seen
Or
it. Mm-mm.
no,
But
let me just check. I can't remember whether it's Taravon or Corallon.
is there a crazy mechanic on it that should be tested, like that we need to make sure it's gonna work properly, or because
No,
the first
not
two were
that.
pretty face roll. This one's probably gonna follow suit, but I mean,
Yeah,
this one I'm
it
more
will.
interested in though, because the 245 gloves and pants, I think it is. Like, I'd like to get my hands on those if I could.
Uh,
Coralon.
yeah, Coralan. Yeah. I'm just pulling him up because I can't. Be honest with you, I can't really remember what he even does. VOA is something that I don't do. Like I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
tell you the last time I even done VOA on on live. So yeah, it's not really something that I'm particularly bothered about.
I mean,
I'm just trying to
this
think.
one I am though. Like of the VOA bosses so far, this one I'm like I'd rather get these and not have to wait for emblems or not have to worry about trophies. Like this whole new loot system that's coming out with Phase 3. I'm gonna be doing like I would prefer that our NA guild does VOA as a guild for at least the first 2 months, month and a half, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, the boss practically does nothing. Yeah,
Okay.
because Toravon is last. So Caroline. Yeah, fire, move out of it, run around. Yeah, there's not really a lot to worry about.
Should it come out on the Thursday, the 22nd, with all the other raids, or should they delay it a week? I don't even remember like the reasoning behind delaying it like a week.
Well, it it drops PvP gear,
Mm-hmm.
own it. So I'm just trying to think that they probably delayed it so people in the first week couldn't get the PvP gear. So I'd imagine it would probably be the same.
Okay. Yeah.
As I say, VOA, honestly, out of everything in WoW, is one thing that I don't even think about.
I mean, it's gonna drop emblems. It's gonna have the chance for 245 gloves, pants.
Yeah, it's
I'm loving it.
definitely worth doing. Yeah, 100%. But it's the least exciting thing that comes with each phase. I mean, when ICC comes out, the last thing I'm thinking about is VOA.
Oh man. Uh, I don't know why, but I'm just super stoked for it this time. All the other times I was like you, like Phase 2 when Ulduar came out, I was like, dude, I don't want to go back to VOA. Like I don't care about this thing. But now I'm like, yo, let's get back in there. We need to get those emblems ASAP.
Well, I always, after every NA guild night with your guild, I want to like stab myself in the eye with rusty nails when I hear the words "Let's go to OS3D."
Dude,
I'm
last
like,
night I was like, oh my gosh.
why? No one cares. No one wants to be there. Like literally.
Oh yeah, last night, dude. I was like, wait, is he serious? Oh man.
Yeah.
All right. I asked you this one a little bit before the show.
Mm.
Is there anything from the Midsummer Fire Festival that possibly, if Blizzard's sleeping, we could bring into Trial of the Crusader to help us with the first week? Even if they fix it after the first week, there were some buffs in the past that we brought into raid.
Yeah, as you know, before we went live, obviously I knew all of this because I'm quite the world event expert. As we've discussed tonight, I spend all my time farming achievements and doing world events and pointless raids. No, I didn't have a clue. So it's going to be a nice consolation prize for the Joyous Journeys buff going again, because they've already announced that that's going when TOC comes out, which sucks. Like, come on, Blizzard. You just put in the WoW token and caused a stir. Now try and ease that by saying Joyous Journeys is now permanent, until Kata, and then take it out for a little while. But yeah, there's that 3% crit and chance on hit where you do fire damage, which I'll be honest with you, the one thing I remember about Midsummer Fire Festival is how amazing it is to level ults, like low level ults, when you're getting that fire. It's a bit like having fiery weapon on
Oh
on your
yeah.
weapon, but all the time. Just will that carry into raids? I would assume it just gets removed. I would assume, and even if it didn't, it's a little bit of a fire damage proc and 3% crit. It'd be nice, don't get me wrong, but I would assume that as soon as you walk in the instance, it's taken off.
Hmm.
I don't think there's anything else. You get there's the boss, isn't there? The Hoon, the Frost.
Oh yeah,
that
was in Slave Pens. Yeah. I was trying to remember where that boss was at. I'm gonna try to solo that as a boomy.
It's a good point, isn't it? Actually, Yeah. We'll go and two-man it. Boomy Shadow Priest. That'd be fun. But talking, it's even more catch-up gear. You know, you're gonna have so many ways to gear up these new characters. You know, come phase 3, that even time that Midsummer drops is almost perfect. So.
Mm-hmm. I, I I saw like eye level, and I forget what it even was, but it was 220 somewhere around there. I think that Ahun boss drops, but it was decent eye level loot, like better than the 200 stuff that you can get with emblems of heroism.
Yeah, and I know there's a weapon, isn't there? There's a staff.
Oh, like the
Uh,
the scythe or the sickle or whatever.
yeah, and I can't
Yeah.
remember. Is the other? I think it's cloaks. Is the other items, the main items in it?
Yeah, the tailoring buff is another thing that Bearbus was pointing out. Like, you can get haste and crit, like 20 haste rating, 20 crit
Oh
rating,
yeah, from your tailoring cooldowns. So
and
they don't go.
those
Yeah.
work in raid. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a Blizzard oversight. I mean, world event buffs. I would imagine they'll get removed. And even if they don't, you know, look, within the first reset or a couple of days, you know, they will.
Or Warcraft logs, like it validate your logs if you have those
Invalidate your
buffs.
logs if you've got it on. Yeah, so either way, you're gonna have to remove it.
Yeah. I mean, I want to. I love that being able to bring in the world event buffs into raid. I love that stuff.
I did, I must admit. But then as soon as you lose it, you just don't want to raid anymore. That's how I was. You know,
That's how it was
you
with
get all
Darkman Fair. Yeah.
get all your world buffs, and then you die. You know, maybe you're the only person to die on the first boss in Molten Core. Everyone's got world buffs and you ain't, and you're just like, why am I even here now? That
Yeah.
was it was just a demoralizing effect that they had if you lost them that I didn't like. But
Yeah. It always happened on the MC boss in Nax back in Classic.
yeah, Resuvius.
Resuvius, yeah. We'd go to Resuvius first. Resuvius would get scuffed, and then we wouldn't have, or it would happen on Patchwork. All right.
Yeah.
Something I don't know if I've ever heard you talk about and give your opinion on, which is the separate image that I sent you. The parsing rules for talk. I wanted to go by boss and see if there's any issues that you can see with the parsing rules. Let me try to bring it up here for a second.
All right.
We are browser, yeah. In the meantime, you guys were trying to get server first for you guys are on Moorgrain now?
Mograine. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really bothered about server first. I'm more bothered about, you know, getting 50 or 50 done night one. If we was last, I don't care as long as we get a cloak first reset.
All right, I think I got them up there. So parsing rules, we got 28 maximum characters allowed for the first 1 hour or top 50, whichever's first. Do you guys have like a roster swap for
No.
any of the bosses, so that doesn't really
because
affect you guys?
we want to do 2 runs, so it's not going to be quite splits, but we are bearing in mind that we want to do 2 full clears the first reset. So we're definitely not using alts.
All right, for Northern Beasts, we've got we will remove the downtime from phase 1 to phase 2 and phase 2 to phase 3. This will not affect damage done to snowballed vassals during. So, like, after phase 1, there could be some snowballs on people's back still. And if you're still DPSing those between phase 1 and 2, then all that damage to those should still count, which
So yeah,
makes sense to me. Yep. And then there won't be an initial cap on damage to the snowballs, but this is something we're open to revisiting. I guess they're thinking people could allow extra snowballs to spawn and have like one person do all the damage to all the snowballs, and like
you can't. He spawns 4, I believe. There's a limit. He doesn't continually spawn them. Obviously, you're on a timer
and they're
from
yeah,
worms coming in.
And they're treated like totems, right? Like you can't, well, you could cleave off of them, but like Starfall, I heard, I didn't check to make sure, but I don't think Starfall would hit them. Kind of like the turrets on
You
Flame
can,
Leviathan.
yeah, you cleave off of them, not onto them.
Hmm.
I don't. I like what Starfall. I couldn't tell you. As I say, I've not done it on Boomy in
Yeah.
Classic, but
And like the only other class I could think of would be like a Warlock trying to like seed them, but cause,
I mean, a seed should work. As in, if
seed
you
should
put
work.
seed on the snowball, it would blow up and do damage to the boss. But you need to cleave off of the snowball. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. So Northern Beast looks okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jiraxxus spell stealing will be allowed, so the mages quote unquote have to spell steal, which they should be spell stealing anyways, but I don't really know much about mages. I don't know if you do either, but could like one mage spell steal more than the other mage and have an advantage?
Well, yeah. I mean, technically, but
Mm.
you wouldn't. It's more mana. Mana
Oh
actually
yeah,
does
yeah.
genuinely become an issue when it comes to spell stealing, especially if you're the only mage.
That's one thing that I forget who it was bringing up like innervates on mages again, so that they could spell steal more. And I was like, oh, here we go again. I'm innervating
Yeah,
a
it
mage.
would
Like,
be useful on Jiraxxus if you've only got one mage. It would be useful.
yeah, yeah. But we have three usually in ours, so hopefully I don't need to
Yeah,
innervate a mage.
yeah. There is a cap. It's 10.
Okay. And then there won't be an initial exclusion or cap on Infernals slash Mistress of Pain, but this is something we will revisit. So all damage to the Mistress, I'm assuming the volcano and whatever the volcano adds are. So all the damage on Jiraxxus should count, which I like.
Yeah, I mean it should all count anyway. But I'm very, as much as I like passing, I'm still very anti Warcraft log rules. As
Mm-hmm.
in those, you're always going to get people abuse shit, and find ways to pass higher by, yeah, but like funneling certain things to one person, just letting that one person cleave ads, just let them do it. Ultimately, those, you don't want more than one mistress spawning. You want the minimal amount of infernal spawning. So it's in your group's sort of best interest to kill this stuff fast and for everyone to switch. So yeah, they should be counted because again, it's not. It's a very risky old game, isn't it? If you was like, right, let's let 3 mistresses spawn so this person can cleave. It's only going to take something to go wrong, and the mistress kiss going on all of your healers at the same time or something because you've got too many ads up. You wipe, now you got no cloak. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not really the raid to be messing about with things anyway. To be fair.
Yeah. Like if they were to exclude the damage to the mistress, I would kind of steer away from like holding my starfall for that phase. I'd be like, oh, I'm popping starfall on the rip right on the beginning of the fight. But since the infernals and the mistresses count, now I'm like, okay, I can hold my starfall for the mistress to come out. But I like
Yeah.
that. I like that. Like
Yeah,
I'd
and
rather
that's the
hold
thing
it.
though. Yeah, and you should.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem with Warcraft logs, where it gets people to do stupid things just to pass. You know.
And then faction champs, everybody knew that was going to get removed. It's a PvP fight, so good on them for doing that. Twin
Yep.
Valkyrs, we are likely going to normalize empowered darkness and empowered light. That one I don't know. Like I kind of hate when they normalize stuff.
There's just no need.
Yeah. Like if people want to get the buff, let them get the buff, let them parse, let them like you can rotate people to soak, get the buff, have their week to parse, like let them have fun. But yeah, normalizing stuff I don't really care for.
No, again, it turn. Well, I'm not going to say it turns it into a joke, but if you're going to do something like that, you might as well just remove that as well. Just remove it from the passes if you're that bothered. Like again, the thing that where I'm anti rules of like all these stipulations and stuff is that you need the bosses dead. If you get your stacks quicker than somebody else does, or you're out soaking, yeah, the dark orbs while everyone's stacked with light orbs, and you can get your stacked up quicker, like whatever. Anyone can do it, but we won't be changing tactics, until everyone's got a cape, not just for people to pass.
Mhm. And then the last boss, I won't even say its name because you and I say it different. Everybody else says it a different way. We've got 10 ways to say this boss. All right, it's Anub Eric. And damage damage done to the burrowers in phase 3 is excluded except for off tanks. That's the first one. What are you thinking? Phase 3. So I guess after whatever the thing is, like he
yeah,
goes
when
into
Leeching
phase
Swarm
3.
goes out.
Yeah, when Leeching Swarm goes out. Yeah.
No, I mean the ads need to be killed during the whole thing. Like, why should people that can cleave and are cleaving the ads be punished? Because it's not it doesn't like switch over to phase 3 and it becomes a single target fight. You still need to control the ads. The ads still need to die. So no, absolutely not. They should count all the way through. Most
Yeah.
people will take out the existing pack, so the existing burrowers, and then the new set of burrowers that come in. If they've got slightly lower DPS, they'll kill those ones as well, and then let the third pack burrow,
Mm-hmm.
and then nuke the boss. With enough DPS, you just let the second. You finish the ads that you've got on you at the time, and then the second set of ads that now come in during phase 3, you just let them burrow straight away and just all nuke the boss. But ultimately, the way you're meant to handle the fight is kill those ads, so they should count.
And then the damage done to the swarm scarabs, which is the scarabs that spawn once a new burrows, all that's excluded. And those also need to die. And I feel like it'd be kind of hard to cheese that and let one person do all the damage to those scarabs because they fixate on a player and then they kind of like run away. Maybe you could have positioning to where all the scarabs are going to like one spot and somebody could abuse it, but I don't really feel like they could. So like swarm scarabs being excluded, I might wait for my ICDs and my trinkets to come off cooldown so that I can have all my trinkets pop on phase 2 or like as soon as a noob comes back up and let other people deal with the scarabs. Like that's just my parse brain right there.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, I don't know why they would be excluded. Like you say, they've got to be killed. They've got to be controlled. The only reason I can see them being excluded is really bad RNG. And you're having to kite the spikes, so you're not getting any time to DPS them at all. But then that's only exactly the same as things like XT. If you're having to run in with light, having to run away with gravity bomb. If RNG don't go in your favor, you have long periods of time where you're doing nothing there as well. So, again, they're part of the boss fight. They need to die. I would have them included. But...
Mm-hmm. And then healing done during phase 3 is removed from ranking. I feel like that's a good thing so that healers don't try to like pad and heal the boss extra. And so that one I'm kind of on board with.
Healing passes just don't matter anyway, do they?
Yeah, like overall
just
they don't really
them.
matter, but yeah.
I mean, I'm a healer main, and I don't think they matter.
And then the last thing there is damage done to Nerubian burrower will likely get capped. We are unlikely to do per wave amounts, but we are looking into options and what exactly the number for this cap should be. I kind of like that though, just because.
But again, you need to. You're never going to want two sets of ads up, so the ads need to die before the next set come. So ideally, the way you want to do the boss is you've got about 5 seconds between. So it gives the tanks time for their stacks to drop off before the next ones come in. Like, you want to find that balance anyway. So not everyone would be cleaving. You're going to have your strong single target just focusing the boss. It's not like everyone AoEs them ads down. You want a nice split between those that are cleaving, those that might even be full on AoEing, and then those that are just focusing the boss. So there's always, certain classes will always benefit more if they've got shitloads of cleave, like an enhancement shaman, a ret paladin, or whatever. But again, why should they be? Well, they're not going to be punished. They're only going to be weighed up against their own classes, aren't they? At the end of the day,
Hmm.
So does it really matter?
I mean, we kind of solved this problem last night in our guild that I was foreseeing happening in our raid group, but I just hope that it's not gonna turn into an XT fight where I'm the only one doing AoE damage and add damage. Because XT lately, if you look at the bomb bots and all like the ads that are coming in during the heart phase,
Sorry,
all
what are
the
they?
all the light sparks. Yeah, exactly.
Is there ads on XT?
A lot of people don't know this apparently.
I only ever see the boss. I never see anything else. But my bars are a bit of a mess, so I
Hmm.
can't really see
Oh
anything
yeah,
outside of that
yeah.
really small area where the
If you
boss is.
have default UI from the Blizzard like I have, then you'll be able to see everything, and you'll see
I,
the ads coming.
I'll have to have a look at that.
Okay. But
But no, again, in all seriousness, yeah, if people then start just tunneling the boss and ignoring ads, then you're going to get overwhelmed and you're going to wipe. So you've lost your cape.
mhm.
And you'll know who it was or who they were,
Yeah, we can look at that. Yeah. Oh, and I'll be calling people out, but like, yo, this dude, this mage right here, they didn't do enough damage. This warlock, they did no damage. Come on. But yeah, if they capped it, people might not be incentivized if they're like parse hungry to do a lot of burrower damage. I feel like.
Yeah, I agree.
And then Anixia, I didn't do Anixia on the PTR. I'm assuming it's the same as level 60, like mechanics wise,
Yeah,
pretty
yeah, it's
much.
more or less identical.
I think one extra like big ad came in. Is that right?
You get the ads come through the door, yeah. Does that not happen in the level 60 version?
Not like the same ones that are in the hallway,
Yeah,
like
like you
those
get
big ones.
one of those come in.
I don't
Yeah.
think that happened in 60, but I thought I
Is it
saw
not?
that on like a PTR raid.
I can't remember.
Yeah, but yeah, the zero changes to the Anixia parse. Everything's gonna count for Anixia. All the whelps. Save.
Right, time for some big
Yeah.
starfalls. Yeah, let's go.
Starfall the whelps. Here we go. Then the last two things on there, I don't really think I care about. Blood DPS. Yeah, we'll be adding a blood DPS spec. This will be called Blood DPS. Good name. And
I
have
wonder where they got that from.
yeah, and have the heart strike icon. Cool. Tank detection. There's no community proposals yet. Please let us know if your feedback and suggestions on tank requirements for talk in Wrath spec discussion. Cool. Anything other like any other changes like you would have for rules for the bosses or
No,
feeling good?
but I just wouldn't have rules.
Yeah. All
Just,
damage counts.
all damage counts, yeah, because ultimately there's nothing in Trial of the Grand Crusader that doesn't need to be killed. Everything needs to be killed.
Yeah.
Someone's got to kill it.
Yeah, everything always seems to turn into either it's excluded or it's like supposed to be a patchwork fight, like a single target fight. It's like all these ads don't count. Like, well, cool. There goes my starfall pad.
Yep. Why give people strong cleave or strong AoE if you can't utilize your strengths because everybody should be single targeting. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I think that we kind of blew through all that. We started a little late and we got through everything.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oh, just as my mouse has died as well. Oh no, it ain't. Is that it? It looks like there's loads on here still to talk about.
I'm passing the torch over.
Why blood DPS will still be a meme spec that no one wants to take. You've put that on there.
Oh yeah.
The fact that you've invested by buying how many WoW tokens have you bought?
That was supposed to be private. That was in the private part of our DMs.
Oh, sorry. That was the wrong one. Oh, I see. Yeah, the show notes. Yeah, there's nothing else.
Yeah, like I mean, unless you want to talk about, you said you were going to do a video on your strategies for talk. Did you want to like go over that at all, or is that going to be saved for the video, which is totally fine? But
I mean, I've already got the videos written. I just need to record them and edit them, but obviously we've got weeks, so there's no rush to get them out now anyway. I mean, there's not a lot to talk about, quite honestly. The only fight I think that's gonna catch people out is using like the right people to soak on twins, which you saw the difference. You know, when we done it as the NA guild.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as we changed it to how we're going to do it, EU, I believe we killed it straight away.
Yeah, at
Um,
first we had healers and hunters soaking, and then there might have been like a tank or something. I don't. There was a third thing, but then we switched it to mages and shadow priest, and it melted. Like it went super clean after that. Yeah.
yeah, it's all about just minimizing the amount of times you need to switch colors. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I've got a lot of ways that will be included in the video on how to do that for every class, basically. And then a noob, just having it set up properly, you know, so your healers know exactly what they're doing. Like it's that last phase is just so easy if people don't panic and start spam healing and doing things that they don't need to. But the fight, once you get over the fact that no one's got any health, and you know actually it doesn't matter because everything's in our control, it becomes extremely easy.
So we'll see if Goldar's watching because he might say something in the chat with this question. How long do you think it's going to take the NA guild to get 50 out of 50?
Um, a
If you
a
DC
little.
right now, it's fine. If you
No. In all seriousness, maybe like week 3.
3, I'm thinking
Yeah, I mean,
longer.
well, you got to remember. I mean, it doesn't really matter how if if you say right, we're not getting it week 1. It don't really matter how many times you wipe on a noob because it will click. It will just click. The healers will go, oh shit, yeah, this is what we're doing. You know, when we went from wiping on the PTR, and then we set assignments up differently, had everything like spot on, proper weak auras, and then we had a 5% wipe, a 0.1% wipe, and then a kill, and the kill was extremely. You was there, weren't you?
Oh yeah. I was at
Yeah,
work. I was like,
yeah.
I was playing on the keyboard, and I was like, I'll be right back. They don't even know I'm
Yeah.
gone.
Exactly. So it was carrying you as well, and it was still easy.
Hmm.
But you saw as soon as the healers knew exactly what they was doing, all of a sudden that last phase was just extremely comfortable. So in week 1, because in the NA guild we didn't get that PTR time, you know, we had a PTR raid night, didn't we? But we only, I think it was just basically phase 1 of NA was all we saw.
Yeah.
So once people start seeing phase 3, and it is the healers, once the healers get comfortable with phase 3, nothing changes for anyone else. And then, there's no reason why week 2, week 3, we shouldn't be able to do 50 out of 50.
As a DPS, I was kind of freaking out too, seeing my health go down. So like the first couple attempts, I think it was the first round of PTR. When I started seeing my health go down, I was like, "Yo, what the fuck is happening?" And I was like casting regrowth, rejuve on myself, going back into Moonkin form. But that second week, that last Sunday that we were doing the main or like the PTR testing on, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm more comfortable with this. I'm seeing my health drop below, like get to 1,000, and then it's only ticking for like 200. So like I'm
Hmm.
fine, I'm chill. But it took me a while to get there, and then it's like, oh, okay, I've got uh, whatever cold buff debuff it is,
Penetrating
penetrating
cold.
cold. Yeah, I'm like, okay, bark skin, it's cool. And then I've got
Hmm.
Hellstone. Yeah, like it took a lot of attempts for me to like figure out how everything was working though, even as a DPS.
Well, we're just going to do what we done on the PTR. So, when the boss is on like 32%, remove command and shout, remove prayer of fortitude, everybody pop a frost protection potion, and then that's now going to make up for a little bit of slack. It's only going to be the first tick of penetrating cold that it's going to absorb, but it just gives the healer that extra little bit of time to react.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to do it within the third set of penetrating cold, I would imagine, because it's 18 seconds. That last phase don't last long at all. So it's going to be, probably 3 sets of penetrating cold. As long as it's not exactly the same 5 people that get it every time, just using that frost protection potion across the whole raid is going to buy you your healers a little bit of breathing room. that accidentally heal the wrong person, for example, or panic.
Mhm. Cool.
But I think it's comfortable. Proper use of cooldowns.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not difficult. There's none of the bosses in there, I don't think, are difficult. They just can be a bit daunting. Because I would say one mistake, somewhat like we was talking earlier, one person cocks up the kite into the spikes, and it literally that can cause a wipe. Just
Hmm.
that one person making a mistake.
Yeah, we didn't have all 25 raiders on the PTR for the NA guild, so I'm nervous. 3 weeks. I appreciate your positivity. I'm thinking it's gonna take a little bit longer. I won't say how long I think because it's a big number.
Why?
But
Where do you think the problems are going to be?
uh, twins a little bit
Mm.
maybe. The PvP faction champions, and then a noob phase 3. Like the kiting might take a couple of attempts. Like I can see us like working out the kiting the first week. We might have a couple wipes due to it, but then after that, hopefully it's better. Everybody realizes, oh, okay, it starts off slow. I wait till it gets close. I rocket boot, and then I get a bop, and then I'm running in at the last 2 seconds of the bop into the ice thing. That might take a couple people, like a couple attempts to see what's happening with that. But we've got zero experience in phase 3 for the healers, like none, and that's where my biggest concern is.
So what do you think? Do you think the NA guild are going to at least kill a noob on heroic the first week?
No,
Don't even think we kill
and
it.
well, we would have. I feel like we would have to have a second night, and we don't have a good track record with being able to schedule a second night with a full team. So like we would have to bring in pugs, I feel like, for the second night, and then that's a whole nother issue. But can you start a noob on heroic and then change it to normal?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. So it's going to be a tough call, but I feel like we might have to do that just to get the loot, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, you know the guild better than I do when it comes to, especially when it comes to new bosses. As in, yeah, how long it took to get Algalon or Yogg, or I'm not. Um, I'd say a noob is probably a bit more mechanically complex than Algalon, because there's not really that much going on with Algalon, is there? It's just damage. I think the organization just needs to be a bit better on a noob. But
And then the unspoken thing from a noob is those little scarabs, whatever they were called. If those get like a 5, 6 stack debuff on you, you're taking like pretty big ticks of damage. And if people aren't kiting away from them because they're fixated on somebody and they don't realize it, and then like after that scarab gets on somebody, it's hard to move away from it out of its melee range. And you're just gonna keep getting debuff stacks.
yeah, and you also, again, things that I'm going to put in the guides, the videos, is that you never want to push the boss. Like, let's say you got 2 submerges because your DPS was a bit lower. You never want to push the boss straight an emerge from the submerge, because you will have people with those stacks, and as soon as the swarm goes out, literally those people will die,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
and there's going to be little learning curves.
we had that in the NA raid. Like the last 2 attempts, I think we like as soon as a noob came up, we pushed it, and like we had ads up, and it was a mess. Like we should have held it, which I knew like on Sunday we were with your guild, but then in the NA guild we didn't have that same like knowledge. But I mean we will during the first week of launch. Like Goldar will know about that stuff to like call, hold DPS, don't push. Hopefully people respect the call. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm hopeful that we'll get it down in the first week in the NA guild. As I say, I'm going in EU, the EU guild, going in hoping for an insanity run. But we are doing a few things between now and then as well, to hopefully try and make that happen. Like, I've got my own server, which we've got access to. So, gonna just like, rather than waiting 4 weeks and then going in, having not done it for 4 weeks, I'm gonna try and get us together for a couple of weekends over the next month, just to go in and just smash through the bosses.
Well, if you need a 25th, you know how to find me.
Yeah. You can jump in.
Cool. Well, let me let you go. You said you had some plans for the morning. I don't want to keep you up too late.
Yep.
And I don't know if I'm in a 10-man group tonight or not, because I don't know if you were looking at Discord, but they're trying to get a 10-man going tonight. So
I definitely won't be there because I've got to be up with the dog in the morning. So
yeah, I got to make sure I'm either in there or not in there.
well, you enjoy that, and thanks for having me. This has been a
Yep.
joy.
Thanks, Grif, for coming back on the show, the Grif and Go show with Grif and Go.
You're welcome. I look forward to next week.
Episode 29. Yeah, we're gonna be back on Grif's channel next week.
We'll be on my channel. Yeah.
All right, man. Thanks for coming on again, dude.
Cheers, mate. I'll catch you in a bit.
Yep.